I think people really need to waken up to what's going to happen.
And the question is, how is it going to affect you personally? What are you going to do personally? How is it going to affect your family?
I would just be very prepared for what's about to happen, especially as we get closer to the election.
It's going to be like an asteroid hitting planet Earth. So the real purpose of this show is to prepare for it. The problem is most people are like deer in the headlight, right? They're just, no, it's going to come back. You know, Trump will save me, Biden will save me, Ocasio-Cortez will save me. But I think that we're heading into the biggest disaster I've ever seen.
We all know at this point 55 million Americans lost their jobs. Reports just came back yesterday that the U.S. GDP dropped 32.9%. Let me say this one more time. U.S. GDP in second quarter lost 32.9%. That's like a company's revenue dropping 33%, which is scary, but it's a country, which is even scarier.
If they don't bail this whole thing out, the trouble is, how big would that bailout have to be? How big would it have to be? There's a thing called CMBS, commercial mortgage-backed securities. They're like the loans on the office buildings and shopping centers and all that. They're broke. Can the Fed bail them out? Plus the pensions, plus mom and pop who lose their jobs. They could be 40, 50 years old, 3 kids, a mortgage. How big is this tsunami going to be?
We've seen the market come back quite a bit. It's really because the Fed's been printing monopoly money, and the stock market's just betting on the Fed to continue to do so. I see a train wreck coming at the end of this month when you have the $600 a week benefit ending, student debt relief ending, mortgage debt relief, and this crisis, which the media will not let go. I see a collision course headed in the market very soon. So this false sense that your 401k balance has increased, I would just be very prepared for what's about to happen. What you're aware of, you can control, but what you're not aware of will control you. And the more you're aware of what's going on in the economy, pension, and the stock market, the more you can prepare for plan B.
Let me give you an idea how long it takes to print $1 trillion. It takes less than a minute, 12 keystrokes. But if you were to spend $1 trillion at $1 a second, it would take him 34,000 years. And in the last few months, the pensions have gone short, just for the public guys, by $7 trillion. That's a lot of money to me. So that's why it's gold, silver, Bitcoin right now. But just as a pure hedge, a defense mechanism, I think you need plan Bs. How are you going to generate income? Really, it's time to be more creative and figure out how you can generate more.
If you were in a certain industry, you took a big hit, you're not to blame. Because who the hell was under the impression we're going to be told to not go to, kids cannot go to school and shut down industries? You and I didn't know that. We've never been through this before. This was the first time. But if it happens a second time around and you stay in an industry that took a massive hit, then it's your fault. First time around, not your fault. Second time around, it is your fault. The industry that took the biggest hit, okay, June over June last year, unemployment June of 2020, unemployment of June of 2019. Leisure and hospitality's unemployment rate is 29%, is the highest in any industry. Then it's mining, oil and gas extraction is 17.8%, transportation and utilities 12.9%, then it's information 12%, wholesale, retail and trade 11.2%, construction 10.1%, manufacturing 9.1%, education and health services 8.6%, personal and business services 8.6%, then it's self-employed, unincorporated and unpaid family workers 8.1%, then government workers 7.3%, then agriculture 5.4%. You know what the lowest one is? 5.1% financial activities, financial services. As a career, you have to figure out a way to position yourself where you're pandemic proof. By the way, I'm not telling you everybody's leaving that industry. I guarantee you most people don't like change. Most people like to stick to the same thing. Most people don't want to even see any kind of change, because as you get older, the hardest thing to do is change. You become this person that just kind of wants everything to be the same. You don't want that. But that's also a scary place to be. But if you look at these stats and you don't go study how they took big hits, why they took big hits, and how long it's going to take for them to recover, and you keep staying in that industry, and it happens to you again 5-10 years from now, you can't be upset at the government, you can't be upset at the economy, you can't be upset at a virus. The only person you can be upset about is your decision.